Summary of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's court proceedings today, 28 of May in the year of our Lord 2025. Court begins. Prosecution and defense counsels introduce their team of lawyers. Prosecution asked to bring witness number 3. Witness number 3 shall be known and addressed as Mr. CCC. He's taking his oath now. He says he's a Christian. The witness speaks. I work with the SSS. I've worked for 7 years. I know the defendant. He's the leader and founder of IPOB, a terrorist organization. He founded Radio Biafra. He used to incite violence to the public. My first encounter with him was in 2015 when I was asked to interrogate him after his arrest. I invited him with 3 other officers for interview. I told him his interview was going to be recorded and he agreed. He agreed to be recorded and also wrote down a statement himself. The witness CCC continues. The interview was conducted on October 21st and written interview was on 23rd of October, 2015. The prosecution has presented the video interview and written statement of the defendant to the witness for identification. The witness has confirmed both. The video interview and the written statement of the defendant have been admitted as exhibit. The defendant says he made the statement under duress and Kanu Agabi has brought it to the knowledge of the judge. The judge has asked the defendant to give element of his involuntariness to the written statement, asked that the defendant be given a sheet of paper to write them down. When I say the defendant, everyone should know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the defendant, right? And when I say MNK, you already know I'm referring to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Take note. Paul Erikoro San now reads MNK's involuntariness statement. He asked for his lawyer and the DSS refused. It wasn't the gentleman in the hideout that interviewed him, it was one Mr. Brown. He was in dungeon and was allowed 1 hour of air time, but Mr. Brown threatened that if he MNK didn't write down what they wanted, the 1 hour airtime was to be taken away from him. MNK also wrote that the DSS forced him to write down some words against his will. MNK also noted he was bleeding from his nose at that time. The prosecution says the defendant was lying, those things he wrote was a fiction of his imagination, that he didn't give any statement under duress, that the defendant was happy and willing to write down his witness. The judge has ruled that there would be trial within trial to look into the allegations MNK made concerning him being forced into writing his statement. The judge says trial within trial starts now. He, the judge, wants to determine whether the defendant made his statement under duress or not. A witness has been brought in for trial within trial. The witness speaks. I know the defendant. He's the founder of the terrorist organization and the founder of a radio that's not registered in Nigeria. I was asked to interview him in 2015 concerning his activities as IPOB leader and Radio Biafra founder. I told him his interview was going to be recorded on video and the defendant agreed. The prosecution asks him if he knows anyone called Mr. Brown. The witness says he's not sure. The witness goes ahead to mention James Ibrahim and Collins as the people he interviewed the defendant with, that there was no Mr. Brown. Prosecution: did the defendant at any time make any request to you before his statement was taken? Witness: he didn't make any request, he said he wanted to rest. Prosecution: did he make any request for his lawyer? I'm not aware, but he didn't ask me for his lawyer. Prosecution: he said he was put in solitary confinement. Witness: I'm not aware of that. If you watch the video you will see a table water was even placed before him, not sachet water, so I'm surprised he is saying this. Prosecution: did he tell you about his ill health? Witness: I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't know if he was sick, but he didn't mention he was sick to me. Prosecution: he said you put words in his mouth. Witness: it's not true, he said everything voluntarily and happily. Prosecution: he said you told him some things to write about President Jonathan. Witness: it's not true, my lord. The prosecution wants to play a video recording of the defendant during interview, as proof he wasn't under any form of duress. The video interview of MNK of 2015 by the DSS is still playing. Video is still playing. DSS asking him the basic questions we all know about MNK and some irrelevant questions as well. Video still playing. MNK says to the DSS officers interviewing him, "You people are the custodians of the law, yet you are the ones breaking the law. This is the third time I am making statements without my lawyer. The law says I am entitled to a lawyer, but you have consistently denied me one. Record me and let the whole world hear it that I am making yet another statement without my lawyer. Even if you point a gun at me, I will still say the truth. I was the first person to organize a rally against Boko Haram in London in 2007. You are no more a law enforcement agents, you are a lawbreaker." Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says. The first video has ended, the next video playing now. In this video DSS asked MNK, "How are you?" MNK, "I'm not fine." Interviewer, "What is IPOB?" MNK answers. Interviewer, "What's the duty of IPOB?" MNK answers, mentioning the Biafran territory, the states involved, and mentioned that no state is under compulsion to join IPOB. The judge has asked the video be forwarded to save time so the third video can be played. I heard him mentioning repeatedly that his lawyer wasn't there, that he needed to speak with his lawyer. So I will look into that alongside the involuntariness. The judge says. The third video of MNK's 2015 interview by the DSS is playing now. The video has ended. The next video, probably the last for the trial and trial, is being played now, still MNK being interviewed by the DSS. Cross-examination of trial within trial begins. Paul Erekoro, one of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's defense counsel, cross-examines witness. I observed throughout the videos played, none of the interviewers showed their faces. Why? Witness, we are protected by the law. Paul, did you introduce yourselves to the defendant before the interview? Did you tell him your real name? Witness, yes, I mentioned my name. Paul, do you know the names of everyone working in your DSS? Witness, no. Paul, did you ever enter the cell or where the defendant was confined? Paul, do you have underground cells in your DSS? Witness, I'm not aware of that. Paul, are you aware that so many people detained in your custody have announced that they were kept in underground cell? Witness, I'm just hearing it. Paul, did you hear when so-or said he was detained in an underground cell? Witness, anybody can say anything to whip up public sympathy. Paul, are you aware the defendant was held in an underground cell? Witness, I'm not aware, it cannot be true. Paul, did you notice you people were forcing the defendant on what to write? Witness, nobody was forcing him, we were just trying to guide him. Paul, did you observe he wore same shirt every day for the interview? Interview, yes. Paul, did you notice how excited he was when he asked for water? Witness, I didn't notice. Paul, did you know someone called Mr. Brown threatened him? Witness, I don't know about that. Cross-examination of trial within trial has ended. The judge has given the defense team and the defendant some time to have a tête-à-tête. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now called in as a witness. Paul, if I have a letter to deliver to you, where would it be? MNK, DSS dungeon. Paul, how long have you been in the DSS? MNK, 6 years. Paul, you mentioned to the court you were under duress when you wrote the statement. MNK, yes. MNK goes ahead to describe how he was tortured and brought to Abuja from Lagos blindfolded. And also mentioned how Mr. Brown threatened him unless he writes a statement as they wanted, that Mr. Brown had the power to make sure he was jailed. Also talked about how he was blindfolded and chained to be put in flight by the DSS as they wanted to bring him to Abuja in 2015. Talked about how he was put in an underground cell because they didn't want him to be around someone. Says the lighting of the underground was dim. He talked about his nosebleed, how the blood was leaving a trail as he walked. Then the DSS noticed it and brought a doctor to him who mentioned that they should give MNK 1 hour airtime so he doesn't die. Mentioned also that the videos played were heavily edited, removing the parts where the DSS officers who interviewed him were threatening him. MNK also mentioned that he was repeatedly denied lawyers even when he asked repeatedly, and at no point was a lawyer brought to him until he was transferred to Kyuj in 2015. Cross-examination of MNK by the prosecution counsel begins. Was your detention approved by a court? MNK, no court approved my detention. Prosecutor, when you gave the DSS your name and contacts of your lawyer, did they come? MNK, they never asked for the names and contacts of my lawyers. MNK's cross-examination has ended. And court has adjourned till tomorrow 29th of May at 2025 at noon. Stay tuned for more updates, stay safe and have a blessed day.